this is just tremendous timing as we bring in Jason Jones. Jason, we were talking. Is the biggest story in the NBA this season the Lakers' failure?
I don't think it's the biggest story.
What is?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. But if this team was fully healthy and AD hadn't missed however how many games and LeBron hadn't missed a chunk of time, I would say that's the biggest. I almost want to say Kyrie is the biggest story.
Okay.
I mean, because his absence was a choice. This is, he wasn't injured. He chose not to be there most of the season. And by virtue of that, they could very well be out in the first round.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bigger story given what they did. And, they trade for Ben Simmons, who also hasn't played yet. I just think everything surrounding Brooklyn is probably, to me, the bigger story. I mean, the Lakers are probably right behind them because it wasn't a crazy idea to think of these two teams could be in the finals. Mm-hmm. Now you're looking at both of them. At least one could miss the playoffs altogether. Both will probably be, or both will be in the play-in, which means they both could actually miss it. It's not crazy to think that both of these teams won't be in the playoffs. Yeah. But I just think Brooklyn makes the trade. They get Ben Simmons. They have the Kyrie stuff going on. KD gets hurt. A whole lot went on with Brooklyn this year.
Yeah. We were talking about Brooklyn, I think it was today or yesterday. Can't remember. But Brooklyn kind of feels like they just want to get into the playoffs. And what I mean by that also is like get into where you can play a series. Like they're just going to be like hoping, let's take care of business, win these little playing games or whatever the case may be, and get into a series where we got Kyrie and KD in 7 games. You think that's kind of how they're looking at it?
They have to. I mean, if you have Kyrie, KD, beating them 4 times is going to be tough because odds are one is going to be on every night, and that means one can go for 50. If both of them are on, what do you do? But the only thing is, I still don't like their defense overall. I mean, they're playing. They got to play Andre Drummond, who, as we know, he may grab a lot of rebounds, but pick and roll defense is, he's allergic to that. So, I mean, they've got some issues there, and some of their defensive issues would be helped if Ben Simmons could play. But do we really think or know if we'll see Ben Simmons this year? So
yeah, I don't think we do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that I think even to a lesser degree, the Lakers probably feel like if we get AD back and we get in, we've got a chance. But in both cases, it's an uphill battle. I mean, you got to do so much to get into the position they're in right now. So, it's hard for me to imagine unless, say, Brooklyn gets Miami, which has kind of been floundering lately. I mean, if Celtics are relatively healthy, I mean, losing Robert Williams is big. They're not beating a healthy Celtics team 4 times. They're not beating Milwaukee 4 times. I mean, they may not. I mean, Philadelphia may be the one they probably would like to draw the most, just because I think all of us, when we see the playoffs and James Harden, we kind of say, okay, the bottom's going to fall out in 3, 2, 1. But yeah, I wouldn't pick Brooklyn to beat Boston or Milwaukee in a 7-game series right now.
Hey, real quick, Dame, I wanted to ask Jason this. You mentioned Miami. Miami obviously got their get-right game yesterday against the Kings. That it's just what the doctor ordered. Play Sacramento.
Yeah. But hey.
Right. But a lot of people looked at what happened about a week ago with Spo and Jimmy Butler and Udonis Haslem, and they're always, the term right there is always, these things happen, competitive teams and good teams, they always have these situations. And I think generally people are right, but sometimes it's not okay to have those type of things. Sometimes they spill to a point where it's like, yo, we really have a problem. And I don't know if this is the case with that particular situation, but that seemed like more than just like a little, people are just, tense right now, ready for the playoffs. That seemed like a little bit more. Did you think that was more than what people are leading on with that Heat situation?
I think the context of that game, they were giving up a big run to a Golden State team without Steph. They've been struggling lately. And Jimmy's going to be Jimmy. And we all know the real king of Miami is Udonis Haslem.
Mr. 305.
Yeah. Udonis is one of the only guys in the league who I believe will actually fight. I think 98% of the league does not really want to throw hands. Two guys I know for sure will throw hands, James Johnson and Udonis Haslem. And I don't think I think you have those heated moments, but you put all that together. The fact that Spo was mad, and I my objection in the media was that people were saying there was a fight. That wasn't a fight. I'm like, you guys are telling us you've never been in a fight. If that's a fight, I'm like, that was a verbal altercation. That was not a fight. But it's not a good look. But I think overall they'll be fine. I don't think that's going to break them, that's not going to break their spirit per se. But, if you'd have told me pick two guys on that team who would get into it, I would say Udonis and Jimmy. So it wasn't the most shocking thing. And like I said, you're letting, the Warriors without Steph put a run on you. You're probably figuring, hey, this is a game we should win. And here it's like a 19-0 run or something like that. Yeah. Somebody should be mad. I think a lot of times with bad teams, I don't see enough guys mad.
Yeah, real talk.
What's more surprising to you, the Grizzlies' success or the Clippers' success?
The Grizzlies. We all knew Ja was good. Ja's a superstar now.
Yeah.
And Jaren Jackson has become like this defensive maven. He's a legit defensive player of the year candidate.
Yeah.
They've just, to me, they're the biggest surprise. I think I love the way Tyronn Lue coaches. I knew that they were going to be competitive no matter what you gave him. He's a great coach. Yeah. And I think what I love for Ty in this situation is that, even the Lakers made this mistake thinking that, he's just LeBron's guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a hell of a coach. And I think he didn't get enough credit for what they did when they beat the Warriors to win that title. Obviously LeBron and Kyrie were big, but Tyronn Lue did not get nearly the credit he deserved. And I love seeing him getting that credit now. But yeah, the Grizzlies being this good, they're mollywhopping teams. They're playing whoop that trick in Memphis. Whooping tricks. It's not like they've got games that they're just, and their record without Ja is insane.
Yeah.
They might be like 14-2 or something.
No, I think it's like 18-2 now. It's something insane.
It's ridiculous what they do. So they got the right coach clearly. They got the right type of players. They did, they've drafted well for the most part. You get a guy like Dylan Brooks in the second round.
Calling out Andre Iguodala now.
Oh yeah, they're really feeling themselves out there. But I still say, of all the arenas I've been to, there's not quite an environment when Memphis is good. When Memphis is good, that arena is amazing.
Is that the most for the culture arena when things are good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. not even close. Yeah, it's not even close. I don't even know how to. It's like being in the Hustle and Flow movie. It's like a basketball scene at the movie. That's what it feels like. How many other arenas could play whoop that trick?
Oh, how many people even know what whoop that trick is?
I don't know, but they will in the playoffs if they start beating people. Terrence Howard better get ready. He about to be famous again.
Bro,
that song about to get re-released. Yeah.
Get that perm ready, bro. Get that perm ready.
Mafia about to, they about to see their streaming plays go way up. Because the Grizzlies gonna get them a lot of love right now.
Is Empire still on? Is Empire still on? Is that show still on?
I don't think so.
What's Terrence Howard doing
on that?
Last time I saw Terrence Howard was on that Versus with
Where was he? What was he?
Remember he came out. He came out on the Bone Thugs 3-6 Mafia.
The 3-6 Mafia one.
Yeah. So they got to. If they don't have Terrence Howard at a game in Memphis, something's not right. He's got to be there for a playoff game. They got to have 3-6 Mafia there. I need to see Project Pat. Everybody. I need that whole
no money
crew.
back gonna be there.
Yeah, I need all of that. I mean, I was gonna say I was gonna adopt the Nuggets as my team because of DeMarcus and Malone, but I might adopt the Grizzlies too. Adopt like 3 or 4 teams and just like make that the way I enjoy the playoffs.
Okay, that's solid.
What about adopting the Warriors? How are they looking right now?
No, can't do it. Plus my friends wouldn't let me anyway. But no, I can't adopt the Warriors. Can't. I just can't. I'll adopt Draymond.
What?
Why? Just for Kenny's reaction.
Oh, perfect. Invite him over for the cookout.
Yeah,
I love it.
For adoption.
I love it.
Like, what?
I love it. That's fantastic. I want to ask you about the article you wrote on White Men Can't Jump here in a minute, because it's one of my favorite pieces that you've ever written. But I wanted to ask you about Davion really quick. We've seen Davion Mitchell play pretty well in his increased role in these, annual meaningless games here at the end of the season. Is there anything to take away? Is there anything that you can take away watching Davion these last 4 games? And is there anything you could take away as we watch Davion over the course of the next 6?
I think just the fact that he is what they said he was at Baylor, about the effort he gives, the kind of intangibles he brings. He's been what they said he would be. So that's probably the biggest takeaway. I mean, I think he's a guy he'll be a better shooter. He'll get better. I think the one thing I don't want about, he'll get better. But I like Davion a lot. I think you got to have at least one guy like that on your team. You got to have a guy who's not afraid to mix it up, to be a lot of guys, it's almost like they play defense like they want to be everyone's friend. I don't really want to annoy you too much. Guys like a Davion or Marcus Smart don't care about that.
Right.
They don't care if you like him. And I like that about Davion, and I think he's shown more offense that people would give him credit for coming into the draft. You would have thought this guy would never make a shot the way some people talked about him. So I like what I've seen from him. It's just that you would love to see it if he had Sabonis out there with him, and you pair that, with De'Aaron as well. Just kind of see what you got. But I like Davion coming out. I know the first mock draft I did, I had the Kings taking Davion. People thought it was crazy. Like, they can't take another guard. I'm like, no. I said, have you watched them play defense? They could take a guard who can play defense. And they're still not great defensively, but at least you got one guy who you don't have to worry about from game to game at guard. Will he play defense?
Wow. Yeah. Where do you lie on where the Kings are right now in their draft situation if they keep their pick? Like, are you best player available, or have they done that a couple too many times now and you got to zero in on, a 3-and-D guy or a 3-4 type guy? Or what would your approach be for a team like the Kings who just need talent? Should they look for that position, or should it be best player available?
Best player available, because
even if it's like a point guard?
Yeah. He's a trade piece then. You take the best player available no matter what, because what would you rather have? Another good guard that you maybe have to deal, or you take a lesser player at 2 who you stuck with for 4 years, and then you end up drafting another 2 anyway or signing one. But I think if you look at the Kings situation, the best player available could end up being a starter within 2 years at 3 of the 5 positions they have on the court.
Yeah.
They could take a 4-man, they could take a 3-man, they could take a 2. Either you're probably drafting a guy who's going to be starting relatively soon if you draft the best player available. And even if you say it was a 5 guy, if maybe he's a different type of big man, maybe he complements Sabonis. Then maybe he's being a stretch guy. There's different ways to do it, but I don't think they can ever go into a draft thinking, oh, we've got to fill this hole. If you just want to fill a hole, use one of your exceptions with the cap. Go get a vet for a year or 2, but take the best player available, because the one thing this team is devoid of is talent, and you can't mess around with that. because you're like, well, we need a 3-and-D guy. Like you need guys. Figure out the rest later, but get the talent.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's just one of the many things on Monty McNair's plate this offseason, figuring out what to do with that pick, acquiring talent, and then figuring out what you're going to do with the head coaching position. Because obviously Alvin is the interim head coach, and you've got this entire staff here. And like, I don't know what to make of this. I know we love, and a lot of Kings fans do. Casey and I do. We like love Doug Christie, but I also feel like I don't know that anything on this coaching staff is working. I know the talent level isn't there, but it doesn't feel like anything they've tried this year has worked. Whether it was Luke in this coaching staff, Alvin leading this coaching staff. I know Doug coached a couple of games. I mean, that's not really a fair sample size, but it's just I don't know that anyone on this staff is it.
Yeah, I think it's hard on you when you had the staff together really the good bulk of it about 3 years at least. It's hard to take any of it and say, well, you know what? I think the development staff especially is great. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, when I'm watching a guy like Wenyen Gabriel, I mean, some of their younger guys who have, been able to go and do some other things, and play some places, like a guy like Wenyen Gabriel, you say, you know what? Development staff is good. They've worked with these young guys and gotten better, but it's any coach is going to want, if you bring in a new guy, he's going to want his people. And just how many people do you hold over is the question. I mean, pretty much, I think any staff would love to have Rico Hines.
Yeah.
I think most people would love to have Lindsey Harding. You're not going to, turn your nose up at, with Stacey Augmon. But, and then you can get a new staff, new coach. He's going to want his guys. And I also wonder with Monty and his background, does he dig into that old Houston, Hinkie Maury tree and, and bring in more people who kind of fall in line with that, way of thinking and that style and who he's familiar with. So I think there's going to be, there's a lot to kind of figure out with this. I mean, the Kings are really, as usual, a team in flux, and you don't know what it's going to look like 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that goes for the coaching staff and for the roster, because one of the other things that we've talking about Davion again, is a lot of people see the way he's played as of late and said he can play next to De'Aaron Fox. He can be your starting 2 guard. I'm not necessarily sold on that. I think he has the toughness to be able to do it on the defensive end, but I'm just not there yet. Do you see Davion as being a starting caliber off guard in this league?
I don't think he has the shot yet.
Yeah.
And plus, we've seen in this league when you have a bunch of starting 2 small guards that can do that, you're probably not going to be great defensively. Mm-hmm. And I just think you as good as Davion is on defense, are you going to ask De'Aaron to guard the 2 guards? Is De'Aaron up for guarding 6, guarding Devin Booker, guys like that? I mean, I think there's just there. I think if you do that, you got to get much bigger in the front court. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's not impossible. But it goes back to just the so many holes on the roster. You need to, if you're going to go that small in the backcourt, you can. I'm taller than Davion, so if you're going to go that small, you've got to put guys around them to make the defense, competitive. And the last thing I would want to see next season is Davion playing defense and 4 guys looking at Davion. Like, wow, look at him play defense. And it's like, okay, well, go guard everyone, Davion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Your partner over at The Athletic, Shams, just tweeted that Zion Williamson traveled with the team to Portland on a 4-game road trip. It's the first multi-game road trip Zion has traveled on this season. Steps in the right direction as he continues to progress, but remains out indefinitely. You think Zion plays for the Pelicans in the play-in?
No.
Me neither.
I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see it.
That's an awfully weird piece to try to work in here after you fought to get to a playing spot.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, let's go ahead and take the ball to CJ and Brandon's hands and make sure Zion. You don't want to play. If I'm them, I don't want to play with that in that game. Because I mean, you're probably going to see I know the Lakers are flopping around unless they decide to pack it in. You're probably going to see LeBron and AD in that game, and that's the wrong time to decide to get Zion his reps. So I can't see it. I mean, and plus it's a foot thing. I mean, it's not like if they get Zion back, they're going to win a title.
Right. That's
why even play with it? I mean, I think they've done good to get to where they are. Because were they like 1-12 to start the year? I mean, Willie Green's gone down there. Yeah, they were terrible to start the year. So I mean, they've done great to get to where they are. I thought the CJ McCollum move was a great move for them. I think you ride it out. I don't think you just force Zion out there, just to do it. I mean, maybe if you get into the playoffs and you say, you know what, we're playing Phoenix. We're probably going to lose in 4 or 5 anyway. Maybe we can use Zion a little bit there, try to get an upset. But a 1-game situation, that to me, that's too risky.
They started 1-13 in our 5 games better than Sacramento. So there's
so what are you saying? I mean, I guess that means they got better, or
just pointing it out. Jason wrote a great piece in The Athletic on 30 years since White Man Can't Jump. Boy, I got one question, and just you're going to catch heat for this line, but this film is really a love story, one that's better than Love and Basketball.
Oh,
and he even prefaced it. And I know I've angered a lot of folks with that line. Woo! How many times did you think about deleting that line after you typed it?
I thought about it. I said, you know what? So what? It's what I believe. I'm like, she played him for his heart. And give me a break.
Hey, don't. Hey, man, that's love.
But you want to play for my heart? No. I'm going to go dunk on you now.
You don't play
an NBA player? Oh, come on. Come on. I mean, this is a cool little movie. They got Crenshaw in there and all that, but I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but no, that's where, I hate movies where the couple ends up at the end all the time, no matter what happens. Man, didn't he have like Tyra Banks? And he's like, nah. Come on, he ain't. Go away, Tyra. I miss my childhood sweetheart. Come on.
Yeah, hey man, that's Sanaa Lathan though, man. You put some respect on Sanaa Lathan's name now.
But they made Sanaa in that movie not be Sanaa Lathan. They made her like the awkward girl, and she was the tomboy. And I love Sanaa Lathan. I'm just saying. No, the whole I'm gonna hop out the window and he's all jacked up. I'm gonna play you. No, you're not. How do you go back and tell your woman I can't marry you because I played a game of 1-on-1 and lost
2 weeks before the wedding? Wow.
Wow. Like, come on. Right before the wedding, I'm gonna put my marriage on the line in a game of 1-on-1.
Hey, but you're not wrong though. I think, and I love Love and Basketball. Absolutely, I love it.
I do too.
But White Man Can't Jump is
that part is hilarious to me.
Now, White Man Can't Jump is a better movie and a better love story.
Yeah, because my man risked it all and lost Rosie Perez to hang out. He risked it all.
Just could not help himself.
He risked it all.
The definition of a gambling problem. Just could not help himself.
Imagine if Rosie Perez loved you so much, she lived in that disgusting rent by the hour motel. And you were like, you know what? I got to go play basketball with my buddy real quick. But people make decisions like that. I mean, I've made dumb decisions like, you know what? Go hang out with the home. That happens. It was just, I'm just glad in the movie she just kind of like goes away and she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many times can you take my money and go gamble it?
Yeah.
It's been 30 years since White Man Can't Jump. You good that Kenya's redoing this?
I don't know. Because how do you duplicate Raymond?
Oh yeah, well you got to find an NBA player to do it first of all. Maybe it's Udonis. Maybe it's Udonis Haslam.
Udonis Haslam would be great. That would be great with him. I think everyone would believe him when he says, "I'm gonna get my other gun." Yeah, everyone would believe that. I think Jimmy Butler could pull that. No one could do it too. DeMarcus could do that.
Oh, DeMarcus
could do it.
DeMarcus could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, DeMarcus has the facial expression. Because to me, what made Raymond so great in that Marcus Johnson that role was that the facial expressions were great. I can see DeMarcus.
No, that ain't me. That's somebody else.
Yeah, I can see DeMarcus.
Both of you.
No, I can see DeMarcus pulling that role off flawlessly because I can see him going from angry to nice, and that ain't. Take that thing off your head. I can see all that with him. But I'm always wary of remakes. But so we'll see.
He said, "Nah, I'm gonna go get my gun and shoot everything up in here."
I can really see DeMarcus pulling that. See, I don't know if Udonis has the same type of charisma DeMarcus would have in that, because you got to have a. I better not say that because maybe Udonis will come find me. But I can see DeMarcus just going through the different, ups and downs with the personality, pulling that off. So, hey, DeMarcus, if you do that, I want a little cut of that check.
Yeah, that'd be a good look. I think that'd be a good look for DeMarcus. Real quick, the only thing that, I don't know what they would do with the remake is they don't play basketball like that anymore. Like, they don't go to parks. They don't play 2-on-2. They don't have a big crowd watching that. So I'd like to see how he's going to recreate the street ball environment. They barely play outside anymore.
Yeah. Maybe they go to 24-hour fitness and
that's
they're like these gym runs now or something. But yeah, I don't know how you duplicate that, because I think guys aren't walking around with a bunch of cash to go gamble now. It's like you're going to take the guys where he'll cash app you the money after the game or something. Let me, hey, Vin me my $500 at the game. And I get my phone and pretend like I'm a dial, and I run off and I never send it to you.
You flawlessly booked the Royal Rumble, and this is the last time we're going to get to talk to you before WrestleMania weekend. So how are you booking the main event with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns?
That's a tough one. Haven't really thought a whole lot about it, because I've been more mad at WWE for pretending like we don't know Cody Rhodes is on the way. Like, it's the worst kept secret in the world. Like, come on.
I'm holding out hope that it's not true. I don't want to believe that it's true.
It's good for business if it happens. I think it'll happen. But this one is a tricky one. I think they have to eventually give Roman his victory over Brock at WrestleMania. And I think you can do that, and then once the titles are unified, you can just create a new title on Raw and just throw Brock on there, and then you'll have him beat 38 people or whatever. He'll win that. I mean, there's ways you can do. I just can't see why at this point, as hot as Roman is, why you would take the belt off of him. I mean, I'm ordering Roman Reigns shirts every other week. I mean, it's like
that's
2 years ago, I would have never been wearing a Roman Reigns shirt. Like, I'm about to order the God mode. I'm like, I got to get God mode.
Oh, man. I'm in God mode.
And it's just there hasn't been a guy this hot in the business in a long time.
Yep.
I've seen him live in this version of Roman. It is amazing to see how he just works the crowd by not even speaking. The whole crowd waits for him to say, "Acknowledge me."
Come on, man.
He's killing it right now. You don't kill that momentum, because he's a heel who's making money. Most heels can't sell merchandise the way he does.
Yep.
I don't think you take the belt off of him. I think you keep the belt on him. I think you put the belt back on Bianca.
Yeah, you gotta fix that. You gotta fix that SummerSlam garbage.
Belt back on her. I think the lead up on Monday night was leading up to that, because they hadn't. You got to make Bianca look strong going into the match. So I think I don't know what happens. I haven't really thought about the other ones all that much. I can't see them taking the belt off of Roman's cousins. And I think you fix the women's thing, not to fix it, but you give Sasha her win at WrestleMania finally by putting the tag belt on her, because as great as that, she had the match of the year with Bianca last year and didn't get the win. She still came out good in that. So I think you put the belt on them, and then from there, the only thing I'm not looking forward to is watching Omos. And I'm not, but Vince loves his giants.
He does, and he loves watching black wrestlers fight other black wrestlers.
Yeah, or putting a belt on a black wrestler and then never letting him win. Like Ricochet was champion and can't win. Apollo Crews was the Intercontinental Champion and lost every match he was in.
Every one of them.
I was like, yeah, Vince will put the belt on a brother, but then he gonna lose it in a cold-blooded way.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna let Kofi gonna lose it like in 8 seconds and never get a rematch.
Man, did him dirty.
I think Ahmed scarred Vince. Ahmed Johnson scarred Vince McMahon. Like this is the same sense.
Hey, real quick, Jay, do you believe that this is gonna set the scene for Roman versus Rock WrestleMania 39?
I think so. I mean, I think we've all been waiting for that, and everything you read is that Vince wasn't going to put that match on when he couldn't, during a pandemic where it couldn't get the maximum draw.
Right.
And you're talking about WrestleMania at SoFi, which I got the tour, and that place is beautiful. I mean, it's I said the second best. It's beautiful. It's almost as good as the Raiders Stadium, but hey.
We're
SoFi's better. I don't know.
Hey, I'm biased, but I mean, you're talking about Hollywood, The Rock. I mean,
yeah, we're going.
You got to do that. I mean, whatever it costs to get The Rock on that card, you pay it, because I'm gonna not feed my children for a few weeks to get a ticket. My kids will be hungry, but hey, I'm gonna be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we going. We going.
I'll be there by hook or by crook. I'll be there. I should say by crook, but I'll be there.
I think Rock shows up Sunday night.
Ooh, that would be.
I think Rock shows up. I think Roman wins solidly and gets on the mic, and then the music hits.
Yeah, that'd be the way to end it. It'd be like, don't turn your TV off just yet when the last match is over, because you might get a surprise.
Yeah, that's it. That's Jason Jones, the professor, the booker. Jason Jones, culture writer of The Athletic. Jason, we appreciate you, my man, and most